Jurgen Klopp cannot stop talking about Newcastle, so wouldn't it be nice if we could just give him something to really go home and talk about on Sunday night? One win, one loss, plenty positives, another huge game at St.James Park, and I tell you what, it's a one that normally promises to be absolutely class. It's the Newcastle Liverpool Match Preview, Newcastle fans, so if you don't know what to do by now, make sure you stick around. Welcome back to Black and White Banter, you lovely Newcastle fans. A bit of a change of scenery on this video. I'm actually outside the beautiful church that is St. James's Park, and I've got a special guest on this one. Maggie really wanted to jump in. She's been watching me make my videos in the house, and she's been absolutely clamouring to give her opinions. You're fancying a win, aren't you? Yeah, that's what I thought. Newcastle fans, before I get into this preview, if you are new around here, or if you're not, drop down, give us a little like. Can't really do it with her paw. It goes a long way for the algorithm, and if you haven't already, and if you want to get my opinion first before you make a decision, it would be much appreciated if you whack that subscribe button. Wouldn't that be nice? Yeah. She nods her paws when she's in agreement. Do you want to get down now? Yeah, I thought you did. She's a bit camera shy. So, I'm outside St. James's Park. I was heading over for the Wylam food Battle Royale. If you've never been to any of the food festivals at Wylam Brewery, highly recommended. Every sort of amazing food you can wish for, and you just get a couple of tokens and you just choose bit of this, bit of that. It is wonderful. So that's where I'm about to head before I make this video. So it's another big game in what is 26 hours from now. These steps, these turnstiles, I'm just going to be queuing just to the left of where I'm videoing, will be absolutely chock-a-blocker. And I'm going to say quite confidently that they will be chocker with confidence going into this one. I'm certainly confident. I've seen nothing from the first two matches to overly concern me. Aston Villa, we blew them away in parts. Man City on Saturday, best team in the world. We gave them a very good game, and their celebrations at the end said everything about how much they thought that was a big win for them. Very few chances in the match, and if anything, as I said in the videos after, we learnt that our defence is still incredibly reliable. So I'm full of beans going into this now. As I've just said at the start of this video, Liverpool at home always promises to be a bit of a tasty game. You know, we can go back to Barnes, Rush, Collymore closing in. We all know that commentary. Keegan hangs his head. But wouldn't it be nice on Sunday if Mr. Jurgen Klopp was hanging his head? Because if there is one manager who loves to talk about Newcastle United, it is Jurgen. I know he said positive things on Friday in his press conference, but there just always seems to be something. Last season, they did the double over us, the only team to do so, I believe. Yeah, only team to do so in the Premier League. And it was so harsh. I thought in the game at Anfield with the last second winner, I was there for that one. We played really well, deserved something out of that one. Isak's goal should have stood. And then at St. James's Park, not too long ago, we actually played pretty well. And then we know what happened with Nick Pope the week before the cup final with that crazy handball. So there's a bit of revenge there. We've actually not won against these. We've actually lost our last 5 against Liverpool, which is a pretty barren record. It really, really is. So that's one that needs corrected. It's almost become our bogey team more recently, but it's always an entertaining match. And I'm looking at this one from the outset. We've got no real injuries going into this game. Joelinton has apparently pulled through. Of course he has. Absolute brick shithouse that he is. The Hulk, the incredible Brazilian Hulk. I'm looking at, right, where can Liverpool hurt us? Now, in their last match, Liverpool played Szoboszlai, who I've got no doubt if he has a good game, Newcastle fans, like Diaby for Villa, will probably be clamouring that we should have signed him. We still don't know whether we were ever interested. It was just speculation. But he played on the right-hand side with Mo Salah. That's a dangerous right-hand side. And although I do think he's going to play Dan Burn, we've got Hall now as an option. I don't expect Eddie Howe, particularly not in a game against such attacking quality, to throw Hall in from the get-go. I really don't. I think Burn will be starting this match. He needs some protection down that left-hand side. And I think Joelinton's role in that first midfield three is going to be absolutely key. Joelinton was not at the races against Man City, it's fair to say. Before he went off injured, he was pretty slow, he was pretty lethargic, he was giving the ball away, which is unlike him. He's one of my favourite Newcastle players. His role on the left-hand side, supporting Dan Burn, along with Anthony Gordon, who I think Eddie Howe will play, is going to be imperative for that Liverpool attack, because we know what Mo Salah can do if he's in the squad with this Saudi speculation. But Szoboszlai likes to cut inside, so that's going to be a bit of a problem for Dan Burn, and that's why the role of Joe Linton, who does predominantly take up that left-hand side of the three, I think Bruno and Tonali in the first 2 matches have proved they're going to rotate more on the right-hand side of that three, is hugely important. And we know what Anthony Gordon can do from a defensive point of view. We saw it against Aston Villa when he made that lung bust and run back to save what might have been a goal. He absolutely put the burners on, and we need plenty of that. And if there's one man who should be up for this game, it's the Evertonian Gordon, regardless of what his thoughts on Everton are after the way they treated him. Liverpool are going to be booing him from the first whistle. Use that as motivation, son. You've started the season fantastic. Use it. Where else am I a little bit worried? I am worried about pacing behind. Now, I was on a Liverpool podcast on Thursday. It's called the Anfield Talk, if you want to check it out before the match. And I was giving my thoughts from a Newcastle point of view. But it was fascinating for me because I learnt a little bit more about Liverpool and how they might set up for this. I said I was worried about Newcastle's pace in the back line. Burn, Botman, Shea and Trippier don't possess much between them. Diaz, who I'm a big fan of on that left-hand side, he will be looking to exploit that. Jota, who's a bit of a goal poacher as well and a fox in the box, he will be looking to exploit that. If we play too much of a high line against this Liverpool side, that's where my biggest concerns come. We know Botman and Shea are capable of reading the game early enough to make the lack of pace not too much of a problem, and that's what makes them fantastic defenders. But that's my biggest area of concern. Now, where do I think we can exploit this Liverpool team and really get at them? Certainly down the left-hand side. If Trent Alexander-Arnold, God, could not spit that one out, plays it right back, I still don't rate him as a defender, and I know it's a huge debate in the Liverpool community because he has got a wonderful right foot. He's got one of the best right foots in the Premier League, if not in Europe. But he's not a very good defender. And Anthony Gordon, I think, if he's on it, if him and Joe Linton switch up on that left-hand side, can really cause some problems down there. Then throw Harvey Barnes in the mix, who will be on Trent's shoulder like a fly on shit, and Trent will not like that at all. So we've got options there to really exploit what I think is Arnold's weakness in defence. I think we can overrun their midfield. I think McAllister is a fantastic footballer. Unfortunately, he's playing in this one because his red card got rescinded. So he's going to be in the starting lineup for this. But wouldn't it be nice to just see Joe Linton have one of them games when he destroys everything around him, like the incredible Brazilian Hulk? Tonali, wouldn't it be nice to see more of what we saw against Aston Villa at St. James's Park? A real here, there and everywhere sort of game. And I'm looking at how Liverpool set up in the last match. I'll be surprised if they go that attacking in that first three. They went for Gakpo, McAllister and Szoboszlai as that first three, and that's a very, very, if that's who Klopp decides to go for in this match, I think we can overrun that. We really can. Bruno, he's made the headlines this week for lots of different reasons. Do you agree with his tweet? Do you not? I'm not going to get into that on this video. I've already mentioned it on a previous one. A really good shift from him would be nice. And again, if we can just see some of Tonali, we win that first midfield three. We've got enough quality in Isak, in Gordon. I wouldn't go Almiron on this match. I wouldn't. That would be one change I would make. The only change to our team. I feel like Eddie Howe has options on the bench, and some of these players need to know that the options that we have are there to keep what are right now the first teamers, the starters, on their toes. You've got Jacob Murphy chomping at the bit, who at the back end of last season I was a huge fan of, and he looked very similar in pre-season. He's just had a ban. Is he going to be tired as shit? Probably, as every dad watching this video could testify to. Even with my dog, I can testify to how troublesome that can be. But he's got to be a strong option. Do you look at moving Gordon over to the right and bringing Barnes in on the left? I'm not so sure about that one. I'm not. I think Eddie Howe wants Gordon to adopt the same position, especially this early in the season, to become comfortable more and more in this team. But Almiron is the player I'd be looking to bring out. He's been very ineffective. I'm getting a little bit tiresome of his lack of right foot, and he's a great option to bring off the bench. I'm not saying Almiron is a bad player. That's where I would look to be exploiting things. Isak, the Liverpool fans on the podcast I went on were fearing him. They were bigging him up. We saw what he did at Anfield in his very first start. Scored one, should have scored another. Terrorising them. Can he do that on Sunday? Can he do that? This does promise, and I'll eat my words if I'm wrong, to be a fantastic piece of football inside this place that will be absolutely rocking. Don't know what War Flags have got in store. I think it's something Bruno related, because he tweeted what he tweeted. I could be wrong. I think they teased what looked like a Brazilian flag, so we'll see on that one. It's a 4:30 kick-off. It's a bank holiday Sunday, so the beers are going to be flowing. That normally means a better atmosphere. This is a very, very tough game. Make no mistake about it. Liverpool have got some very good players. They maybe haven't had the transfer window they expected, and they have got lots of players that can hurt us in different areas, as I've already talked about. But you have to back us at home. I'm backing us. I've seen enough of us in the first 2 matches. Eddie Howe will have these so up for this. If there's one thing that Amazon Prime documentary has taught us, it's that Eddie Howe can use the words of other managers and other players to fuel this Newcastle team to go on to good things. Would I like to see this Newcastle team take some more shots? I mean, I was looking at the stats for this because of my new job. I'm chucked stats at me on the regular now. We're actually 15th for shots taken. I thought we would have been lower because Eddie Howe does not like to do that in and around the box in this team. Not surprisingly, we actually top with 54% of shots accuracy and shots on target. 2 stats that together kind of make sense. You take less, your stats on target are going to be a bit higher. But I would like to see us, when we in and around that box, shoot a little bit more. That's the only criticism from a point of view from me that I don't like about this current Newcastle team right now. Yes, this Newcastle team is doing a million amazing things, and I'm blessed by it every single day as a fan. But you've got to shoot to score sometimes, and I just feel like that's one area of the game that we've gone so low on now that it can be at times a little bit frustrating to watch. It really, really can. So that's one very, very small change I would like to make. What prediction am I going for in this one? I'm going to stick to what I said on the Liverpool podcast. I'm going to go for 2-1 Newcastle. I think we're going to come out the traps absolutely flying on Sunday. Liverpool aren't going to be able to handle it. We then might drop off a little bit because we are playing very, very good opposition. They might get 1 goal, try and creep back in, but I think we'll have enough to get over the line. So I'm going to go for 2-1 Newcastle. Bank holiday Sunday, wouldn't that be nice? Go and enjoy a couple of pints after. That would be absolutely lovely. Newcastle fans, let us know your predictions in the comments. Let me know what team you're going for. I am so pumped for this one, just mainly because not only is it Liverpool and it's a team that I think are going to be in and around us and competing for things. Not only that, but just because of how much Jurgen Klopp has been chatting absolute shite for the last 3, 4, 5 months. Wouldn't it be nice to stick 2 fingers up his ass? Newcastle fans, enjoy your bank holiday weekend. Fingers crossed it's a very happy Sunday with 3 points, and I'll see you on the next video. How are you, lads?